What is that news, Glenn? Want to try copying and pasting the headline at least? All right, looking at the QQQ. What do we got here? I'm just waiting for a few more to come online, and then we'll talk about the market. RGNX. Well, if it doesn't, then it's not worthwhile. So somebody was talking about AbbVie. Trading ability, is that what you're trying to say? They slowed your trading ability? Yeah, that's what happens when you are trading with less than 25,000. Get subject to the day trading rule. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at the market. The markets. So the Qs and the markets in general have entered a congestion area. It can be acting as some support, or it can chop from here, for example. It is down in it now. Yesterday pushed us there. As you can see, we closed at the prior day's low and the prior day's low. So it's been 3 days at this level and going, and that's because it has entered that congestion support area. The market has. So it's difficult to say now what will happen. We've certainly corrected quite a bit, but I believe probably we're going to form a right shoulder at minimum at some point. I don't know if that's going to start today, but it could. The market is moving slightly up this morning above yesterday's close. We've got the 10-year at 3.35%. The recent 52-week high is 3.48%. The 10-year is set to break that. That is semi-recessionary signaling in and of itself. We have, and as far as on the S&P 500, we have only now 24.8% of businesses trading above the 200 moving average, which means 75% of them are below it. So that's a bearish sentiment. When it falls below 50%, and certainly at 25% and below, it's a pretty bearish sentiment on the market. So we'll see if that continues to worsen, or if it finds some resistance here. But it could be 2 months before we're even up and over any significant point, such as this pivot that we recently put in a couple of weeks ago, and that would reverse the market in direction. Okay, cool, Glenn. I'll read that in just a second. The VIX is at 27% this morning. So the VIX not in a happy place at all by any means. Happy place is 20 and below, by the way. Anything above 20 and swing trades are up against a lot of chop, a lot of volatility, difficult to make money in that case, except we do have a nice trending swing trade going on the dollar. Like I was mentioning this earlier this morning, that's been going on since June of last year. It's in a very nice uptrend and may continue as the dollar strengthens worldwide, as worldwide economic conditions worsen. The United States becomes the best. The dollar becomes the best place to put your money, worldwide right now. We are the most hopeful nation, I guess you could say. Now, drilling down to the to the day trade level. We're watching a couple of stocks at the open. Most of them have faded and broken VWAP and do not look great anymore. But SIDU, SIDU, has some news with SpaceX. SIDU Space executes multiple launch agreement with SpaceX. So a 5 launch agreement. So that's, I would say, something benefiting SpaceX more than SIDU. But on that news, it has popped from $2.66 SIDU, SIDU, to $4.30. It's recently easily been at these levels and as high as $8. So there's a lot of energy and potential and momentum still in this ticker, SIDU Space, SIDU. It did just break 4.2 pre-market high level that we were talking about before we just went live, and that has set up an entry trigger for stop at 375, 50 cents of risk, and we'll see if it continues from here. But SIDU remaining above VWAP, and that's a good sign going into the open. We've got about 4 minutes and about 5 minutes right before the open, just under 5 minutes until the open. Rest of the market is all down, except energy and oil right now have taken a turn for the downside more strongly. As you can see here, that giant push from 86-ish to now 80, just under 84 at 83.75. So oil moving at the moment. Let's see if I can pick up some of that. Yeah, we are watching SIDU, SIDU, most intently. Everything else has failed VWAP and pivots and is fading. SHPH popped just now from 23-ish to 26.5, so it's showing some movement. That's all dead cat bounce though over on SHPH. It's not virgin movement. SIDU, this is recent virgin movement. How far it can go remains to be seen, and that's good. That's what we want. SHPH, how far it can go, we already know. And that's because it's a dead cat bouncing. But that doesn't mean you can't make money off of it. So, for example, if SHPH breaks the pre-market high of 26.50, you can get in for $2.50 of risk, stop at 24, and that trade may work out for you. You need about $5 a gain or a $31 price target in order to get a 2-to-1 risk reward out of it. All right, taking crude right there myself, short. And we'll see where that goes over the next 30 minutes, hour at the market open. The market is now opening in 1 minute and 50 seconds. We're watching SIDU. Which has a good potential. So long as it doesn't break 375, then it will remain in play. I do not want to see it break 395, ideally. Forex, Forex. No, that's not primarily what I trade. No. but I can, have, and do. If you're the Japanese yen, I can, I have, and I do. That's the Truman Show bit right there. For those of you that caught it, 55 seconds to the market open. SIDU, what you gonna do? Now, if SIDU breaks 426 and you haven't gotten in, 426 is another trigger entry. 426. At that point, I'd put my stop just below 4, something like 395. So if at 426, you're talking about 30 cents of risk per share to your exit. All that's in my market mastery there, sir. Just click the link in my profile and then go to the website and click Learn to Trade. All right, here we go. 8 seconds. All eyes on SIDU for the morning momentum day trade. Okay, we're watching it right off the open. Looking for it to break 426 on the high side for a trigger entry of 30 cents risk. Here it goes. 418, 420. Pulling back. 410, 408. So the trigger not triggering yet. It's breaking down. 397. Selling off so far. We do not want to see it break 395, ideally. All right, CDU holding around 407. Let's take a look at others. SHPH did break the pre-market high level for an entry. Bit of low volume on the SHPH. But that's one we were talking about before. $2.50 of risk, stop out at 24. It just hit 25.10, so it's very close to stopping out. Back to CDU. Right, CDU starting to curl up off of the open. Buying of the dip is happening. Looking for that break of 426 with a stop at 395 or 30 cents of risk. So we're looking for 60 cents a gain or 488 as a minimum profit target, average profit target for our full trade. However, you should be selling underneath the 10-cent levels. The market's rallying fairly strong. Just right off the open. So we'll see if that holds. SIDU now could not hold that high, has failed that retest of 420, and looks like it's going to break the neckline at 395. So that could also be a short. It's a potential short trade there for you guys who trade short. If it breaks 395, that would be a breakdown. SHPH is at 24.32, 24.47. Not looking too hopeful. 24 would be your stop. Most everything else failing out at the open. Obviously, Apple today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be having their presentation with their lineup of new products, where updates to product line. Fubo looking perky, says somebody. No, not enough volume. Not enough volume. Doesn't matter. Not enough volume. Because at any time, CDU could come up and over the top. So long as it hasn't broken pivot at 395, it's still in play. Yeah, let's see. SIDU, BIF, IMRA, BPTS, INM, S Pro, QNRX, COUP. Let's take a look. How is COUP moving around? Did COUP reject the 64 and 65 level yet? No, Jumia is not enough volume. We don't trade. We're not going to be trading that. Need some volume. Back to SIDU. And SIDU has broken, yes, broken the 395 price level. So that is a pivot breakdown. That's a breakdown on SIDU. And now the backside of the trade, likely to retrace now. So short. It's a short. It's a short. COUP looks like it's not rejecting, hit 66, so it's now flipped long. It did not reject the 64, 65 resistance zone and is now long. COUP, COUP. Good for a day trade, day swing, a day swing. $5 of risk, stop at 60.72. That's the pre-market pivot low. COUP, long, $5 risk, day swing. Yep. USO. Yeah, oil definitely dropping. Energy trades failing out. Meanwhile, end phase energy pushing up on strength. So that looks like a good entry to me. ENPH for a swing trade. Going to go alert it. ENPH. $12 a risk. Yep, the market itself is rallying. All right, that alert on end phase just went out. ENPH or swing trade. No, there's not much going on Mullen. Doesn't look good. The Q's rallying off the open. What will remain to be seen is if it can get up and over yesterday's high. Same on the S&P 500 and the same on the Dow. All of them will need to concurrently move over yesterday's high in order for the market to be pushing up again and pulling back off of this recent 2-3 week correction, which could happen. Leading the way are the Qs. NASDAQ growth. But can it be enough? Remains to be seen. Why did the Fed pull almost $2 trillion out of the stock market? They do that in order to, depress asset prices in an effort to, ideally, the Fed doesn't want to cause a recession, but a recession is a good result, for the Fed, because they're looking basically to put people into a massive saving panic. They need to feel like they need to save. That's the ideal goal. SIDU short really working out. It's at 364 now. So that short called perfectly. Look at that. Very nice. Drop from 395 short level. You had a moment to take it at 4 to get maybe 5 cents of price improvement with a pivot at 410. It's like only a 15 cents of risk, and it's already down 395 to 365, 30 cents. So it's already 2 to 1 reward to risk. Very nice on the SIDU short. It was something we were hoping would go long, but it easily triggered a short. And there it goes further, 352. Excellent short. Benjamin looking at wheat. So, today wheat is maybe coming off of the bottom as a bottom reversal, breaking over 1, 2, 3 prior pivots. It still needs to get over 924. Let's look at the wheat futures. From that perspective, it'll be a little bit more clear. Okay, there we go. So there does seem to be some bottom reversal action going on wheat futures, and you can trade that with the ETF WEAT. Yes. I'm going to try to find that, and I'll take a position on that if I can. Let's see. So, just within my range, I think. Let's see. There we go. All right, good. All right, so I'll get in that with you, Benjamin. That looks nice. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I like the look of that trade. It's got potential, right? We need to be willing to lose, though, in order to get in at this early entry. It's just now coming up off the bottom, showing a couple of bottom reversal signs. It's in no means in an uptrend and flying, and it may not. So, and it might hit some resistance up above here. So, but it's if this is the best moment to get in, it'll be worth trying. I'll go put that on Chart Traders alerts. And the risk on that on the wheat ETF is to 815, and it's at 880 right now, so 65 cents. We'll trade, Ben. I like it. IMRA starting to come up. IMRA, IMRA. If IMRA can get up and over 170, it has a chance of retesting pre-market highs of 176 and then breaking those pre-market highs and moving and testing 180 and maybe getting to $2. So if it can get over 170, then it becomes a potential. Right now, far from actually confirming that. Another quick look at SIDU reveals that the short trade is outstanding. It's now 3x return on the short side. From the 395 short, it's now at 340, hitting 340. I don't know how many of you short, but some of you probably do. So that looked pretty good.
Alert.
Watch your pivot point trading. Full stop out on SIDU now is 365, 366. Looking at the leaders of the day, nothing new has popped up. Maybe EPOW. Let's take a look at EPOW. What's going on with EPOW? Nah, not enough volume. The Qs double topped, failed retest, broke neckline pivot down, and are now on the backside of the trade and appear to be short. So that's potentially the top of the market was just put in. In order to reverse that, it will need to break the high of the day, which is 295.60. It looks like it's drying right now. Could happen. IMRA is getting really close to that 170 entry level. So can you see why we're going after 170? It's this pivot right here. We really needed to break this pivot, and then this key psychological number right there is 170. So we needed to break pivot and break 170. So 170 becomes our trigger entry. It's at 169 right now, very, very close. But if it can't break 170, then it can't happen. Is Juns trading today? What is that? Is that an IPO coming up? I don't know. I'll pull it up and let you know. I don't think so. It must be an IPO. Yeah, so no, it hasn't started trading yet. Those usually take an hour or two or three or four before they start trading. Just got to keep an eye on it. Back to the market. It's trying to break the high over on the S&P 500. It pretty much already has. So it looks like the Qs are just playing catch up and will break the high. And boom, there it is. The Qs did break the high. So we were back in bullish trend on the intraday on the Qs. How about the Dow? The Dow in a nice uptrend. Wow, Intel's going to be below $30 by the end of the day, it looks like. All-in giant. On the monthly chart, I mean, this brings us back to 1998 levels. It's been lower. Before that, the most recent level, it brings it back. It brings us back to is 2016. Sort of permanizes Intel as a non-growth company. If over the last 24 years it hasn't changed price, essentially. So for that, if I'm going to put my money into something for 24 years and it's not going to give me any capital appreciation, it better return more than 5% a year in dividends. And I don't even know what the dividend is on Intel, if it has one. It ought to. Let's see. 4.82%. So it's really testing its maximum its minimum generosity. You need at least a 5% dividend out of that, and it's 4.86. All right, IMRA broke. Did you guys get it? IMRA did trigger at the 170 level. It popped up and over it. That would have been an entry. It's still at that or slightly below that level right now. Your stop could be 163. So from 170 entry, that'd be 7 cents or 8 cents. Randy's in it. RJ's here. What did I say your name was the other day, Randy? James, I think Randy James, I've said. I don't know if that's true. Something like that. Okay. You've told me before. Let's keep it a mystery for now. IMRA feels like chasing, somebody says. Yeah, but the trade is there. Don't be so afraid that you don't take a trade which has triggered. You gotta be willing to take a loss. You can't just wait for when things look perfect, and that's usually the time in which it will not happen. What's with HKD? I don't know. It kind of depends on the context of what you're asking. Nothing. Nothing's with HKD. SIDU continuing to return on the short side. SIDU now hit 322 from our short entry trigger of 395. That is 75 cents of gain on a 15-cent risk. So that is now a 5-to-1 reward. You would be getting 5R out of that. 5R on the short side on SIDU entry at $3.95 short. Very nice breakdown. Neo's really moving. You said on no news, says somebody, but there's got to be some news there. It opened at 1670, started to get hot in pre-market, opened at 1675, and then shot to 1835. Again, Neo, in my opinion, not the greatest EV fundamentals. It looks like it was earnings related, so there is definitely news there. It is It's on the earnings release. Better looking fundamentally is Rivian, and it happens to also be at a decent technical entry point as well. In fact, I think yesterday we alerted the trade. Let's go take a look. Well, it was called out if it wasn't actually alerted. Rivian looked good yesterday. I think it might take like 6 days for us to get a really nice entry, maybe 3 to 6 days. Get a nice entry on that, and I'll put an alert on it. I don't know. There's one. I can just move it over. No. Looking for it to break the key level of 35, but if we can get a cheat entry, that's great. Rivian. Range resources? No. Which one are you talking about? RR. I'm not seeing a stock RR. Unless you were talking about risk reward. IMRA? We're just day trading it. So you follow our day trading system. You sell underneath something like that, underneath every 5-cent level. You sell something like 10, 20%. Right now, it has failed the retest of the high, and it's risking off. So you should get out of 50% of your position on that. It is looking like it's going to risk breaking down, and there comes the breakdown. 166. Remember, 165 is your pivot low. Stop. Yeah, S Pro does have epic volume, but I think it's been going sideways. Let me double check. Hasn't been moving a lot. $1.35 pre-market break to $1.45. It's something. But it's been moving around last couple of days. There goes ENPH. Nice. All right, so that alert. Woo! Very nice. ENPH up $7 from our entry just a little bit ago. That's when you know you've got your timing right. That's how it's supposed to behave. Nothing good going on Asana. A lot of work to do there. Somebody's asking about that. ENPH, beautiful. A nice early entry we got at around 300, and it's at 307 now. All right, you guys, it's top of the hour. I'm going to take my first break of the day, and let's head on over to the group. I'll see you in member chat. All right, everyone else out there, if you are interested in joining our group and checking it out, it's free to check out. Just click the link in my profile. That'll take you over to where you can begin a membership. All right, see everybody soon. The short on SIDU is at 341, still in play, still day swinging on the short side, SIDU. All right, see you in the group, everybody.